I'm from the future. I came here in a time machine that you invented. Now I need your help to get back to the year 1985.
Welcome to the Week 13 edition of Back to the Futures on the Hammer HQ. Smash a like and sub to the channel, by the way. You can find us on Spotify as well, and make sure you go to thehammer.bet for all of your sports betting needs. Pat Mayo here with Geoff Feinberg and Tim Anderson, who are head-to-head in a NFL futures portfolio battle. We are 12 weeks in. This is Week 13. So I'm wondering who is feeling the best about their portfolio at this point in time. Tim, do you still feel like you're winning?
No, I don't. I think I'm slightly behind. I still think I have a chance to win, but like my biggest ones hinging are a Dolphins AFC East win. Although I have no chance to win that. I also have Seattle to make the playoffs, but that's not looking great.
That's good. That's still a favorite to happen.
It's still a favorite, but it's not as good as it was a couple of weeks ago.
They're out of the playoffs for the first time in what feels like
6-7 and the team doing it to me is the team that I took the first week under 8.5 wins was Washington, who is 1.5 wins away from really putting me to the sword. So this week, I am going to use, if you watched the Week 13 pick show, you'll know that I've been using the simulator a lot, and therefore have gotten a little bit of a sense of who people have left to play. And one of those teams is the New York Giants. And I look at their schedule, and I see them getting the Commanders twice, the Vikings, the Eagles twice, and the Colts. There's maybe one win left in that schedule. So you could bet the New York Giants to miss the playoffs at minus 120. I would recommend going ahead and betting that because that is going to happen.
If the Giants beat Washington this week, what do you think that those odds change to?
Plus 100.
Did you say it'd be even money at that point?
Yeah, because they still have a ton of tough games. And like they and Washington will still get to play another game. And really Seattle is, really it's a three-way battle between Seattle, New York, and Washington for 2 spots, in my opinion, given that we can sort of say that Dallas is going to have one of those wild cards. So that's the rotation of the 3 teams for the other 2 spots. There's really no other NFC team that's really competitive. I mean, I suppose if Atlanta won all of its games or something, or if Detroit won all of its games, maybe it could, but it probably is not going to. So it's really those 3 teams for 2 spots. And I just think New York, given their schedule and their talent level and their overachieving, is the likeliest of the 3 to fall out. So I'm going to take the Giants not to make it at minus 120.
So Tim is trying to sacrifice bunt on you here, Geoff. He's not taking home run cuts anymore. This isn't even a singles cut, I'm pretty sure. So how do you feel about the pick and how you might respond to this with your selection?
Yeah, it's hard to it's really hard to do something that's going to return that much right now that doesn't feel totally crazy, as the possible results have sort of become quite finite across the board. I don't mind the pick at all. I actually lean and agree with the pick. It is potentially possible that when this thing is all done, I have hit enough bunt singles to maybe weasel Tim at the wire. Highly unlikely. I will tell you, there could be a hinge moment on Monday night for the contest. If the Saints are able to beat Tampa and tie and fully get into that NFC South mix, that would make me feel as confident as ever in our little game here. I am just going to now make a pick that I made before the season. The number is the same. It wasn't involved in our game at all this year, but as we sit here now, it's the same number I played in the summertime.
Russell Wilson, MVP.
No,
that was me. That was me. I forgot.
My MVP pick was Justin Herbert. That was wrong, but
he's the social media MVP.
Social media MVP, yes.
That's like a half cash. You should get a half payout on that.
On the awards, I think I'm going to do pretty good because I have Parsons defensive MVP and Justin Jefferson offensive player of the year. Although they're bringing quarterbacks into offensive player of the year.
Yeah,
Like, Jalen Hurts.
Jefferson is the favorite, though.
Yeah, he is
win that.
he is the favorite. But if Mahomes wins MVP, I could see Hurts or Tua winning offensive player of the year.
Yeah, no, they really want to do that. And that is kind of, I don't know. I mean, I'm biased because I have money on a future, but it kind of feels a little unkosher if they're going to take MVP, which is for the quarterbacks, and then say this other award. I don't know. That's a whole other debate. Anyhow, Patriots under 8.5 right now. They have a really hard schedule coming home. It includes the Bills this week. It's the Bengals. It's the Dolphins. It's the Chiefs. I want to say, I just had it up here. Sorry. Yeah. Bills, Bengals, Dolphins, Bills again. And then a Southwest trip in between there. That's back-to-back weeks in Arizona.
Raiders and Cardinals, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where I'd be worried, right, Jeff? I could see them winning both the Raiders and Cardinals games, and that gets you to 8. So that means you've got to run the board.
Yeah, it's not perfect.
That's what I'd be concerned about.
There are not many options here. I did think about sort of piggybacking Tim's to miss the playoffs and picking Seattle at plus 235 to miss, but those 2 games left versus this dead fish Rams team, even in division.
But it's not even that, because Seattle's the team on the outside looking in right now, but all the NFC East teams play each other. So inevitably they're going to lose games, and Seattle's going to catch up.
Yeah.
Well, yes, but a lot of those involve the Giants. Like, the Giants have to play the Eagles twice and Washington twice. So, like, if the Giants lose all those games,
the Giants are out. But
Washington, if someone's always losing in those head-to-heads.
Exactly. Like, it could be Washington that loses those 3 games, and then they're done.
You're right, but I would predict the Giants don't win any of those.
Sure, that's fine. I understand that's what your bet, but if you run all of the probabilities of what's going to happen, these teams have to lose a game every time they play each other, where that is not the case with Seattle.
Sure.
So even if Seattle does lose games, they split with the Rams or something like that. They're not really going to lose that much ground. They'll still have a chance to get in. That'd be my only problem with picking Seattle to miss, is that there's a reason that they're still minus money to make the playoffs.
Yep.
All right. I know we recorded the pick show over on Mayo Media Network not too long ago. That Thursday night game is down to -4 now.
Wow.
Keep it coming.
That's a bad sign for the Bills. That's a bad sign.
Yeah,
all the smart money. Buffalo just could never be the right side. Now, if it gets down to 3, then yes, then Buffalo becomes the right side. But 3.5 or more, I just don't know how you can't play New England in that game.
Bills by 30, Jeff. Here we go. And then Tim will say, Patriots were the right side, though, when they lose by 30.
No, not if they lose by 30.
They might. It's in the range of outcomes, Tim.
Sure. The last time they played, it was a rout. But I still think that the Bills are soft as butter.
But so what you were saying is that they were a hard team last year. They're a soft team this year?
Everything went right for them in that game. It took until the next week for them to screw up in a tough spot.
They played pretty well against the Chiefs in that game. I'm not going to lie to you. I remember watching that game.
They played really well. Except they lost.
They did.
They're like the Bears. They play really well and they lose every game.
Yeah, they're just like this season's Bears, Tim. You are correct. What? The team that lost to Kansas City in the playoffs is exactly like the 3-win Bears.
The Bills play good games and they lose.
All right, well, that will do it on the Week 13 edition of Back to the Futures on the Hammer HQ. Go to thehammer.bet for all of your NHL, World Cup, NFL, basketball, and we got MMA, golf coming up in the new year, along with so much more, including baseball as well, at thehammer.bet. So go check that out right now. For Jeff, Tim, I'm Pat Mayo. We'll see you next week.